I'm State Transportation Engineer Catherine Patrick, and I want to welcome everyone as we focus on work zone safety. I personally understand the dangers of working out in the work zones and working alongside of the highway. I actually started my career with KDOT as a project engineer in the Kansas City metro area and spent my first 9 years doing that on projects, and then became a construction engineer and was out there another 5 years. So I understand what's going on, and I really do commend you for what you do.
Each day, KDOT workers put their lives on the line so that they can improve the highways that every one of us travel. Much like you and I, they have family at home who loves them and wants them to make it home at the end of the day. It is imperative that you realize as you travel our work zones each day that their work zone safety and your work zone safety is in your hands. You must work to be a safe driver to get them both home safely. I reflect on those times when our personnel are out working and we find out a crash has occurred in a work zone. It reminds us of the dangers that exist as travelers navigate through the zones. It is critical that drivers realize they too are in danger as they travel through work zones.
I worked on I-70 and US 183 for my first 22 years and witnessed many near misses with traveling motorists. One such incident happened while we were setting up a work zone on I-70 to close the left lane passing lane. We had set our 8 signs, 4 on each side of the highway, with messages including road work ahead, 1 lane road ahead, left lane closed, and transition sign. We then moved down the road the proper distance to begin setting the cones for the taper and the aero board. After setting the taper, we were out behind the truck unhooking and placing the aero board when we heard the sudden screech of brakes. My coworker yelled, "Look out!" And as I looked up, there was a car headed straight for us. I jumped over the tongue of the trailer and we ran for the median as it was the only direction we could go. Luckily, the driver maintained control, only hitting a couple cones, then managed to merge right and miss us and the aero board. He never stopped, and we continued with our job after taking a few minutes to catch our breath.
As a supervisor and manager, one of the worst types of news that you can get is a call saying one of your employees has been hurt while working on the roadway. I received that type of call one night. An employee of mine had been struck by a vehicle while he was providing traffic control for an accident scene. Fearing worst, I asked if he is okay. I was told he was in the emergency room being checked out by a doctor, and at that point was unaware of the extent of his injuries. I made my way to the hospital, wondering what had happened and was hoping that he'd be all right. When I got to his room in the ER, I found him in fairly surprisingly good spirits, but a bit sore from where the car had hit him and where he'd made contact with the ground. I asked him what had happened. He told me he had closed down the ramp along the interstate for the traffic accident that he'd got called out for. He said he saw headlights moving toward the ramp. The lights just kept coming at him and the reflectorized cones that delineated the closure. Before he knew it, the car was almost on top of him, so he jumped out of the way. The car struck his legs and spun him around, knocking him to the edge of the roadway and out of the path of the vehicle. The car actually continued up the ramp, almost striking a police officer as it sped by. Seeing what had just happened, the police kind of leapt into action, and after a frantic car chase, the police were able to get the vehicle stopped before anyone else was hurt. We later found out that the driver had been drinking, and he was impaired enough that he didn't know he had hit someone.
Why is it important to maintain awareness in work zones? Every day, distracted drivers kill construction workers, travelers, and injure countless across the country. Using cell phones, eating, putting on makeup, and road rage can be deadly distractions. A cell phone user is 4 times more likely to be involved in a crash. Add a work zone into this mix, and these distractions take away the time needed to respond to road signs, slow down, or stop.
Our message here is pretty simple. Please give those working along the highway the space they need to perform their duties. Slow down, pay attention, follow the signs. The life you save might just be your own. And there's more truth to that than you might think. You wouldn't believe, but it's motorists who are injured or killed in the work zone crashes more than 80% of the time.
The Kansas Highway Patrol is committed to keeping work zones safe. Annually, our personnel patrol in these zones, looking for those violating Kansas laws and working to be a visible presence to help slow down traffic. In 2016, the KHP worked a total of 4,062 hours in construction zones and contacted over 7,000 motorists as part of the Work Zone Enforcement Program. Our commitment to our KDOT workers and drivers of Kansas is that we will be out in the work zones once again this year. We will remain vigilant and will enforce our Kansas laws in and around the construction zones to help everyone, our workers and our travelers, make it home safely. Thank you.